Faith over fear, trusting God in uncertain times.
Don't ignore me. Stay with me until the end. This message is for you.
Have you ever felt afraid of the future? Maybe it's not knowing what's next, a job, a relationship, a health challenge. Fear has a way of whispering that we're alone, that we won't make it. But the Bible tells a different story, one of faith, not fear. Throughout Scripture, God reminds His people, do not be afraid. It's one of the most repeated commands in the entire Bible. And not because fear isn't real, but because God is greater than what we fear. Think about Moses standing before the Red Sea, David facing Goliath, Daniel surrounded by lions. Each one had a reason to be afraid, yet each one chose faith. Let's talk about what faith over fear really means. Faith doesn't mean you never feel afraid. It means that even when you do, you choose to trust that God is in control. Faith says, I don't know how this will work out, but I know who holds my future. In 2 Timothy 1:7, Paul writes, For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and self-control. That verse reminds us, fear doesn't come from God. Faith does. Power does. Love does. So when fear tries to take over, remember, you have the Spirit of God living inside you. Let's look at an example from the New Testament, Peter walking on water. When Jesus called him out of the boat, Peter actually stepped onto the waves. For a moment, he walked by faith, but the moment he looked at the storm, he began to sink. That's what fear does. It distracts us from Jesus. Faith keeps our eyes on Him. Maybe today, your storm is something you can't control. Uncertainty about your family, your finances, your health. Remember this, the same Jesus who calmed the storm back then still calms storms today. When we invite Him into our fear, peace begins to replace panic. Let me share a story. A woman once told me she had lost her job and didn't know what to do. Every night she prayed, asking God to show her the next step. She said one verse kept coming to her heart. Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10. Months later, a new door opened, one she never expected, and she realized God had been preparing her all along. Faith doesn't always give you instant answers, but it always gives you peace in the waiting. Here's the truth. Fear will always knock, but you get to decide who opens the door, fear or faith. Faith doesn't mean life will be easy. It means that no matter what happens, God is still good, and His plan is still perfect. So how can we strengthen our faith when fear feels stronger? Pray honestly. Tell God what scares you. He already knows, but speaking it to Him brings freedom. Read His promises. The Bible is full of reminders that you are not alone. Surround yourself with believers. Community builds courage. Remember His past faithfulness. If He helped you before, He will help you again. When you walk in faith, you're walking in the same footsteps as Abraham, Esther, Elijah, Mary, Paul, and millions of believers who chose trust over fear. The same God who guided them guides you too. So today, if you feel anxious about tomorrow, take a deep breath and say, God, I choose faith over fear. Because when you put your trust in Him, your story is never over. It's just beginning. If this message encouraged you, share it with someone who needs hope today. And remember, no matter how uncertain life feels, God is still in control. Faith over fear, always.